Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new music podcast called The Urban Rap. In this series, we'll be talking about a number of different sort of lists and debates, just going through what our opinions are of music, how we feel about them, and so on. I have two colleagues with me throughout this series. They'll introduce themselves now. We'll start with Bill.
Hey guys, what's up?
Cool. And we've got JB.
How you doing? You all right?
Cool. So we each have sort of different experiences, as well as opinions on music, obviously with our different age range. Sort of premise behind the podcast is purely just we are all obviously in sort of lockdown. As of recording, it is the 16th of April, so we're very much in the middle of it. Obviously, with this whole COVID-19 situation, so just to sort of bring a bit of light, bit of joy to everyone's lives, I guess, just sitting at home. So let's see what we can do going forward. This, as you can see from the title below, this episode is based on the greatest rappers ever, sort of a top 10 list. We've each combined our own lists, and we'll be going through them one by one, and then making up an overall top 10. I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun making that, and then hearing your guys' opinions in the comments. So, first of all, guys, how are we, everyone?
Hey, Sanj, what's going on, man?
Good. What you been doing with your day today? Sitting at home?
Sitting at home, mate, working, just with this pandemic going on.
Yeah. JB, what's new?
Mate, just been chilling, man. That's it, literally.
Right, you lot working it. Us two are still working at home,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mate. Well, let's get into sort of the latest what's going on. So, stuck at home. Artists are stuck at home as well, so you'd think they'd have a bit more time, obviously, make music, things like that. But also, people do get bored at home, and artists are no different. So there'll be a lot of controversy going back and forth as well, I'm sure. With online beef always makes everyone's day a bit more interesting. But first of all, we'll start with a couple of albums that dropped last week. So first of all, we've got Tory Lanez. New Toronto Free?
Tory Lanez, yeah. Toronto Free.
Any thoughts? Any thoughts from what we've heard?
Well,
It's a good album, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's a good album from what I heard of it. I mean, I only glanced through it, but from what I heard, it was hard. It was hard.
Yeah, no affairs.
yeah, same as JB. I've only listened to a couple of songs. I've watched, I think, one video that dropped last Saturday. So, yeah, I mean, you need to listen back to that, really.
Yeah, nice. I've listened through quite a bit. It's a mad album. I think Broken a Minute, mad song, as we'd all expect. I think there'd be more TikToks than views on that though still, but it is what it is. It's a one way.
You'll know about that one, Sanj, wouldn't you?
I know about my TikToks, guys. It'll be in the
No shout outs allowed.
Follow me. Follow me. So obviously with Tory Lanez, we could talk about his album, or we could talk about what he's really in the news for.
And you know what he's in the news for.
Everyone knows what he's in the news for.
Strawberry milk.
Who's been?
What I want to see is strawberry milk, man.
Listen, my man got his quarantine radio shut down and put back up in the space of a week, and he dropped an album. And that is the marketing skills. I don't know what is.
Mate, you know what? It's so good for his profile as well, because you think that's the perfect promotion for an album.
100%.
To be honest, Jack, with that mic, mate, I thought you might have it by your face today, trying to be Tory Lanez.
Yeah. I could bring that out like Tory Lanez if you want. I can do it next week.
It's mad. So Tory Lanez obviously got his Instagram going live. He got the most viewers as well, the most live viewers on TikTok history as well, didn't he? Did you see that one?
Yeah, was it a DJ set, wasn't it?
Yeah, for the DJ set, he got the most live viewers, which is pretty mad. Yeah. I think his followers have gone up massively on Instagram, obviously. Obvious reasons. But it's mad. But no, the new Toronto Free is out. It's a banging album, but I wouldn't expect anything less from Tory Lanez. He's mad. Let's put it straight. He's mad. He's brilliant. But obviously a bit more for us guys in the UK. Rest in peace, the late great Cadet. Obviously his new work of music come out as well last week on Good Friday. Any guys had a look through that?
Yeah, I listened to the whole album, man. It's a mad album. It's got some massive features on there as well. I mean, you've got Rex, you've got Chip. It's mad.
But it's sad. It's just sad, when you listen to that album, and it's like, right, this guy could have been like so big, especially with that
interlude. That interlude as well is. Please tell me you've heard that interlude.
Yeah, I listened to the whole thing.
Yes, upset.
It's crazy, man. Like how good he actually was.
It's mad. The underrated legend, the Feds say he's not underrated anymore.
No, he's not underrated no more. He lost that title.
You didn't quite get to appreciate his work for what it was, obviously at the time, which is the biggest sort of biggest shame of all of this. But so just obviously in terms of news, I think next week will be an interesting one because from what I've read up, 21 Savage is due to end his hiatus tonight at midnight. So that'll be pretty mad. He's got a new song dropping tonight, and that will lead to apparently an album. And I think it was confirmed as of 2 days ago. Big Sean's got an album releasing in May. So another thing to look out for.
Sure.
These rappers are they're quarantined, they're in lockdown just like we are. So it'd be a great chance for them to make music.
Putting in work.
Yeah, 21 Savage, obviously controversy, he's got hiatus. It's a bit, who knows what he's gonna come out with now. But Big Sean, I think I know he spoke about Cadet, but I think he really is underrated in the hip hop scene. Big Sean, I think he's
Big Sean, 100%.
Really good artist, so talented as well. So I look forward to that. Don't know what you guys think of that, but obviously when that album comes out in May, a lot to talk about. But we'll get on to the main body of this podcast, as you guys can see below.
No, wait. I've got to just bring this up. Has anyone else seen this? Lizzo was twerking on Tory Lanez's Insta Live.
Yes, we've seen this, Billy.
I haven't seen it. I've just literally just seen it.
She don't
today.
actually twerk. She just...
Yeah. And it's great to see what you're doing while you're making this podcast too. Great to know. So thanks a lot for that.
Thanks, Bill. I was in the fucking focusy mood.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll get back to the main body of the podcast, and that is, of course, as you can see below in the title, the greatest rappers ever. Now, there will be a lot of controversy with this. We've all got different opinions. We're not too far in terms of age gaps, but there is a bit of a difference between us. We go from 27, 28 down to 22. I'll let you guys work out which is which. So there will be sort of contrasting views, shall we say. But I guess before we get to the list, let's just ask. I'll start with JB first of all. Now, you are, to put it politely, the more senior of the three of us.
Okay.
So what was your sort of influences growing up music-wise?
Music-wise, growing up was...
Who did you listen to?
Growing up, like, it was mad because I grew up listening to, like, Tupac because my brother used to listen to stuff like that. So, like, listening to Tupac when I was, like, fucking 6. Do you know what I mean? It was mad. But then, obviously, I started to like my own stuff. And then Ja Rule come out, 50 Cent come out. And then it was just, like, undeniably, you've got to listen to it. The beef was there. Eminem was there as well. It was, like, some of the biggest rappers of all time was when I was growing up. So, for me, that was probably my main influences at the time.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's definitely sort of a golden era, if you like, of music where you grew up. I'm very similar to yourself. I think, well, I'm sort of showing my age. I think the first single I ever bought was actually a Craig David record. Don't worry, it's not in my list, but it was actually a Craig David record, the first one I ever bought. But in terms of US, I grew up on 50 Cent. Definitely 50 Cent, Eminem. They were definitely my sort of influences and choices growing up. Bill, how about yourself?
Well, growing up, really, it was kind of a mixture between R&B and garage. I didn't really get into hip hop till I was about 13, let's say. So my first ever album I bought was in about 2009 when I was in America, and Eminem had just released Relapse, I think it was. And I remember driving around America listening to Crack a Bottle with featuring 50 Cent and Dre on like repeat constantly. But yeah, growing up, it's more kind of garage and the R&B scene.
No, fair enough. Look, we've all grew up, like I said, in different eras, so we've got different influences, and therefore our list will be different in terms of artists. So without further ado, let's get into the main body of this. We're going to start, we'll go in a little circle, we'll go one by one. Now, we're going to try and be polite to each other. We're going to try and be respectful of each other.
However, we all know that.
That is easier said than done. So we'll basically go one at a time. So everyone will give their number 10, then their number 9, and so on. And then at the end, like I said, we'll do a bit of a honourable mentions for those who haven't included artists who perhaps maybe should be there, or maybe they just weren't our flavour, or wasn't maybe a bit before or after us. We'll just sort of give them a shout out because obviously not everyone can make the list. And then at the end, we'll make a combined list, which will probably contain a lot of strong language and arguing. So first of all, guys, we'll start with JB, then we'll go to Bill, and then myself for top 10s. So in at number 10, JB, take it away and give us a little reason as to why as well.
Number 10 for me, he made it late to the list, but I'll put in Andre 3000. And then out comes Outkast. You got one singing mostly, and then you got Big Boy in there. He's still hard. He's probably one of the best rappers as well. But for Andre 3000 to just come out and start bringing the soulful vibes and everything to music at the time, he's got to be in that list as an absolute legend. And you think any feature he's done, there's never been a bad feature from Andre. And even his own bodies of work, there's never a bad. I don't think there's ever a bad verse from him.
Yeah,
I don't know what you guys think, but
Andre for me, I think is one of those where I think artists appreciate what he done. Like other artists will always appreciate what he done.
he's
But
respected, very respected.
as fans, I guess his music never reached top commercial level, so maybe we don't see it as much. But if you obviously study music, if you appreciate music, like bar for bar, lyric for lyric, there's not a lot of people who come close to Andre 3000. Like lyrical wordplay, things like that. But
wordplay, he's just crazy, and he don't write a lot of his stuff. He just,
of course,
a lot of his freestyles as well, so that makes him a better artist than a lot of these rappers throughout the ages as well. So
100%. We want to Bill for your number 10.
In at number 10, I've actually got The Game. So Andre 3000, yeah, I've never actually really listened to Andre 3000 as Jack Sam, but with The Game, I've never listened to him. I need to actually give it a listen to after obviously going for this list. Obviously being the youngest in that, my kind of list is a bit different to yours. So with The Game, kind of also you've got all of these old school stuff in 2005, 2006 off the documentary, but then you've got all of these kind of newer stuff starting in 2011, etc. So you've obviously got The City, you've got 100 with Drake. Obviously, Drake's going to probably hit most of our lists in this top 10 of this era. I'm not sure if we'll agree on that one, but yeah, no, like The Game, it's got to be enough for me at number 10.
Yeah, no, 100%. He's in my list. I won't say where. I won't give it away too much, but yeah, I think that, to be fair, there's, like we said, there is controversy in the list. As an artist, he was controversy. We all know about to say we know about it's probably a bit much, but we all heard about the sort of beef between him and 50 on the side of things. But you know what? I mean, let's all be honest. We went to his concert not too long ago when he was here. I haven't experienced energy like that for a long time. And JB, you and myself obviously grew up on G Unit, 50 Cent, Game.
Yeah,
what do you think about him?
For me, The Game, he just missed out. I'm not gonna lie. He was sitting there at 10, and then he just dropped out. But for me, like, The Game's been there the whole time I've been growing up, but he just didn't. I don't know why he didn't make it. It was just something that didn't want me to put him in there, because
no, fair enough.
A lot of his lyrics are like name dropping and stuff like that, and there's a lot of name dropping, and there's a lot of recycled stuff that goes into his stuff. I didn't see anything that was original for me, anyway.
Yeah, no, I do get that, actually. I do get 100% where you're coming from. And I'm not having your top 10. That's a shout, but okay, no, fair enough. Everyone's talented to their own. Everyone's talented.
Probably 11. He's probably 11.
Yeah, no, fair. My number 10. My number 10 is actually someone who probably isn't in either of your lists and probably didn't come in the top 15, to be honest. But he's someone where, if you talk about different types of rap, there's no one who comes to mind before this guy, and that's T.I. I went T.I. Yeah. Those who obviously know or have just watched Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix, he introduced trap rapping. He was the first one to go about it, and it's just that voice is on the scene. And if you do look at different interviews and different artist lists, for example, T.I. is always up there because he was different. And it took a lot for someone to move away from that whole, like you said, with Andre 3000, move away from the whole Biggie Pac side of things. Then when Jay-Z was coming through and whatnot, to move away from that, it took a lot. And for people to buy into T.I., I think that says a lot about the person himself.
No, I like T.I., man. Especially back in the day, I liked T.I. a lot more than I liked him recently. But yeah, 2005, 2006, T.I. was crazy, bruv.
Do you even hear of T.I. nowadays, though? Is there any new songs out?
To be honest, no. To be honest, no, there's not. But then I think there's probably a few people on both our lists we could say the same thing to.
Yeah, but on some of that list, some people are not even here anymore to talk about.
Yeah, of course. But there's some people on the list who are still here, but just not making music. We don't hear about too much. But But for me, T.I. was. I just think he was the first. He was the first one to make rap songs that you could probably dance to as well.
Yeah,
Like in
yeah.
a club where, you know, you go in there, you listen to his trap sort of voice on a rap song, you think, oh, I can actually vibes to this. I can vibes to this.
It was totally different. And then a lot of that kind of trap music come through. And there was like, I don't know, like the dances, like them franchise boys, them kind of ones come through with the similar kind of that style in it. So they did change. They changed the game, man. They did change it.
100%, 100%. So we got to number 9. So we're back at Jack. Who's number 9?
Number 9 for me is Ice Cube. I've got Ice Cube at number 9. And for me, Ice Cube's just a legend, mate. Whether that's films, whether that's music, he's a legend. And for me, he was the top in NWA as well. Like he was the best for me, the best rapper in NWA. I can't lie. He had the best lyrics. And you know what? Like you heard Ice Cube's verse on any of those tracks from NWA, and he'd hit the hardest. He would hit you the hardest with his bars. But for me, yeah, Ice Cube, he has to be in the top 10 for me, man.
Yeah, no doubt from my side. He was part of probably the most controversial group ever, given the time they were in as well. Yeah. Probably ever. But by the same token, probably the most successful in what they achieved. Not necessarily what they made money-wise or what they sold, but what they achieved for culturally as well.
It's the first wave of rap as we know it as well. So
exactly. NWA, amazing. Ice Cube, yeah. You know what? His verses always bang the most.
They hit you. They just hit you like you've been punched in the face, mate.
Where did we hear Ice Cube not long ago? Didn't we hit him at some festival or something?
Yeah, he was at Wildlife.
Wildlife in Brighton, wasn't it?
Right, and about 3 years or 4 years ago.
Yeah, like 3-4 years ago now. I remember watching Ice Cube live. I think it was quite good. I think we stayed for the whole thing as well.
I can't lie, I don't remember most of it. But
you don't remember a lot from that festival, mate.
I don't remember too much from that festival. It was a bit naughty, but yeah, look, Ice Cube, can't knock him. Fair play, yeah, can't argue with it. Billy, on to you.
Right, in the quite controversial, to be honest, this artist. It's obviously Kanye West. I mean, some people might have him up higher on their list, but for me, his newer stuff, I just do not like it at all. Like Jesus is King. I haven't even listened to the album. I think I've heard one song, which is what Jesus Walks. It's the only one that made it to the radio.
Jesus, I don't think none hit the radio.
One of them hit the radio. I never listened to one on the radio, and only one charted in the UK. I mean, the reason Kanye made it in at number 9 for me was purely for Graduation. I mean, even The Life of Pablo, that was one of our summer albums. We had that on all the time.
Yeah, that's like memories for like you as well, isn't it? So
yeah,
I'm gonna let Jack sort of depict this one because I know he's got a strong affiliation with Kanye West.
I love Kanye, man. I love Kanye.
Why do you like Kanye? What's so good about his new stuff? Please tell me what's so good about the new stuff.
But you don't want to bring just his new stuff into it because
the reason he's even made my list is because of his older stuff. But what's so good about the new stuff? Well, as you just said, you don't even think you heard it on the radio. So what's so good about it?
You didn't hear it on the radio. You didn't need to hear it on the radio. Sunday Service is probably one of the biggest things that is out right now, and that's probably one of the biggest projects I think that he's ever done. And for him to find himself after what he went through and like bipolar and all that kind of stuff, he lost his mum. You think for Kanye to genuinely be happy now, for me, is like, that's better than what album he could put out, to be honest. But I don't think you should judge it off of Jesus is King, because obviously that's one of his worst albums.
Even the one in 2018, I didn't listen to it at all because I did not like it.
See, it's kind of took a downturn, but
yeah, it's taken a downturn since his joint album with Jay-Z.
I don't think that. But if you listen to, there's leaks of an album he was working on, and it was called Yandy. I don't know if anyone's heard of it.
Yandy,
he was working on an album called Yandy, right? And some of the tunes on there were, if he dropped that album, it would have probably been the #1 album last year. And just by listening to leaks, mate, some of the music he was making, but then he turned, he kind of went into the whole Christian thing, and then I don't think he paid too much into that album. But
I think for me with Kanye West, you guys obviously know, but I'm split right down the middle with Kanye West.
Yeah.
for those who don't know, I went through a long spell, and there'll be a few artists in future podcasts that we talk about where it'll be similar. I didn't like him. I never didn't rate him. It's one thing liking someone, it's nothing like not rating them. So I always knew he was amazing at what he'd done, master of his craft, whatever else. I just didn't enjoy the music. It's only looking back at his more recent stuff, maybe not the last album. We all know about the last 1 or 2 albums. If you go before that, you really appreciate what he'd done. And I think not to say his main songs, he got so many, but in the era where he brought out Stronger, Power, those sort of songs, they're still played now. If you go out, they're still played now.
Yeah, and that's why he made my list.
I think the only way we can judge is how he's your number 9 is when we hear your next few artists to see where he's below. And we'll hold that conversation for now. We'll hold that. But no, fine. In at number 9 for Bill is Kanye West. Fine. So for myself at number 9, we've heard his name already. And that's The Game. The Game is my number 9. So obviously, Bill had him at number 10. Jack, he was probably about number 11 for you. He is number 9 for me. And I think a strong part of this is personal preference.
Yeah. And that's the era we come from as well.
Yeah,
so
I just love the guy. Like his verse on How We Do, that's ridiculous. I think it's probably the first verse I learned word for word.
Yeah, it's probably mine as well.
The songs that he done when he brought in the documentary, that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous for me. And then the one that people don't rate is the album, R.E.D. Red, what he brought out.
No, that's a hard album. Hard album.
No, but that's one that obviously because we're his fans, we love it. It didn't get commercial success.
Didn't that have the feature of Kendrick on it as well?
Yeah, that's got the City on it.
Yeah, the City. That acapella at the end from even Kendrick's feature was crazy.
He had Kendrick. He had Lil Wayne. He had Drake. There's some features to have on that album. He had Lloyd. I think
Dr. Dre was on there. He had a verse with Dr. Dre.
Yeah, Andre had it as well. Lloyd was singing on it.
Yeah, Tyler the Creator was on there.
Yeah, that was amazing, that album. So for me, we won't talk too much about him because obviously we spoke about him, we all rate him. He is sort of between 9 and 11 on our list, I guess. So yeah, number 9 for me is The Game. On to number 8 and back to Jack.
For me, 8 is going to be Lil Wayne. And I know both of you like Lil Wayne as well, so you're probably going to place him higher. But for Lil Wayne, he's just a crazy rapper, man. Like, from his voice is totally different to anyone you'll hear. He probably inspired a lot of people as well, like the new school rappers that come through. But yeah, for me, Lil Wayne, especially when I grew up, when the Carter 3 come out, that's probably one of my favourite albums like ever. So yeah, I'll just put Lil Wayne in there for that, man. But yeah, Lil Wayne for me was part of me growing up as well. So
Bill?
Who have I got? It's in at number 8. Now, I had to choose between 2 artists on this one, and they're, I want to say similar, but they're not in ways. They were tipped to be the next kind of, they were tipped to take over the game, basically, when obviously other artists retired, and that's Kendrick. I mean, the first ever song I heard from Kendrick was, Poetic Justice, I think?
Yeah.
And the lyrics on that are absolutely crazy. Obviously, you've got Please Don't Kill My Vibe. And obviously going back to the acapella at the end of that song with The Game is absolutely crazy.
And that's more from your generation.
That's more from my generation. So that obviously the other artist I was going to include was J. Cole. But J. Cole's one of them artists you've just got to be in the mood to listen to.
Oh yeah.
You can't just sit there and have J. Cole on all the time because it's just not one of them artists.
You need to be sitting in a dark room, mate, with your headphones on and taking in what he's saying. Like that's how you have to listen to J. Cole. But yeah, Kendrick's a good shout though, especially from a new school rapper point of view.
Yeah, exactly. And that's obviously why he made my list at number 8. I mean, obviously there are some other artists higher up. Unfortunately, J. Cole doesn't make my list, but I still rate J. Cole.
No, fair enough. I think Kendrick is my modern day Kanye West. He's someone who I don't like. What I mean by that is I don't like, but I rate. Lyrically, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2, he's untouchable lyrically.
Lyrics are.
He's something else lyrically, and for that you have to rate his music. You have to rate. It's just I just don't like it. It's just not for me. But weirdly enough, I get it. I mean, I don't agree with your placing of him. I mean, you have just put Kendrick above Kanye West, which is interesting to say the least. Which, you know,
Yeah, but as I said, I just don't rate Kanye no more. Like his newer stuff is just.
I get what you're saying, no, but you got to think of the longevity of his career.
Yeah.
You got to think longevity. But you know what? Your list, fine. Look, Kendrick. I don't think you'd have too many arguments about Kendrick being in your top 10. It's just obviously the placings and whatnot, and maybe for me, he probably is that number 11, 12, 13. I mean, he probably is sort of there. But fine, your list. My number 8, and it's the reason I didn't argue with Jack, is because mine is Lil Wayne as well. Lil Wayne, he's something else. He's ridiculous. We know him as a stupid punchline rapper now, because he comes up with silly one-liners where you laugh, but you know what? You will remember it.
Yeah.
You will remember it. But these old stuff, what he done when he came on the scene, boy, the boy was something else. He was unbelievable. He had that tone of voice that no one has. You know when you hear a Lil Wayne song on the radio, you know it's Lil Wayne. You know it is. And if you don't, you will by what he says. So for me, you can talk about the Young Money whole situation, stuff or whatever he was involved in. You got to, although, you know, we're trying to base it on obviously their own individual music careers, but the people he brought through, that is a list on its own. You know, the people he brought through.
A lot of big artists now.
List, yeah, I mean, he could go up there toe to toe with Dr. Dre with the people he brought through. So he's pretty amazing. But in terms of his own career, he didn't have a bad one himself. So my number 8 is it's Lil Wayne without a doubt.
Has to be Lil Wayne.
So number 7, and we're back with JB.
Right, for number 7 now, I've got one of my childhood favourites, and that's 50 Cent. And for me, 50 Cent was just G.U.N.I.T. I used to love it. Especially that was the first kind of rapper that I kind of come into as myself as being a fan. The whole of G.U.N.I.T. I used to just love it, man. Every time I see that on the TV, I'd be like, oh shit, it's G.U.N.I.T. Like, you know what I mean? You were gassed.
100%.
Gassed when you was young. And yeah, 50 Cent, man, he run the game. He run the game for at least 4 or 5 years. He run the game. And for G.U.N.I.T. to come through, the whole thing like that, it was just, yeah, for me, growing up, that's just what I listen to all the time. So he just has to place in my list somehow. Yeah, man.
100%. I think my things obviously are pretty similar to yourself in terms of what I think about 50. Bill, different era. What do you think about 50? What's your opinion?
I mean, 50's on my list. I mean, who can actually hate 50? There's some bangers. You go to clubs, you hear 50. You've watched his film. You know, that you get to kind of know the person. As Jack was talking about with Kanye earlier, you kind of learn who that person is on a personal level. And watching the film, it's a mad film. And there's just total bangers there from 50 Cent as well.
No, 100%, 100%. Bill, your number, where are we? Number 7?
Number 7, we're at, yeah. Well, he was brought in by Used to at number 8, and mine's obviously Lil Wayne. So, I ain't not much to say about him, but...
Yeah, no, Lil Wayne, we said it all. Pioneer. Best way to talk about him, I think, pioneer, without a doubt. Fine, so that brings it on to me. What number are we on? Sorry, 7.
Okay, 7.
My number 7, it's already been said by one of you, is Kanye West. He's my number 7. Yeah, look, I've said it a couple of times. Not his biggest fan in terms of his actual music, like if I liked it or not. But I respected it. I rated it. What he'd done was incredible. His early music, all the way up to now. And I enjoyed the sort of gospel album that he done. I didn't enjoy it at the time, but when I listened to it back, you really need the lyric. Yeah, you really need to sort of lock yourself away for 2 hours and listen to it twice. And so
it's like another J. Cole sort of thing.
I think the day that we compared J. Cole, Kanye West is just a dark day in hell. I don't think that would be happening. But look, J. Cole's young; he could do something amazing. But Kanye is, and you know, we're not going to talk about obviously other bits of what they've done. But music aside, I mean, let's not forget this guy started off as a producer. He started as a producer. Now, that in itself is amazing. To think that he started as a producer for these rappers, and when he was asked to sort of spit or say what he thinks or just have a go, he turned to the best in the room. There's a reason, and we haven't mentioned him yet, but there's a reason Jay-Z took to him.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
100.
You know, Jay-Z don't get a lot wrong. Let's be honest. He don't get a lot wrong. Whether it's business, music, his wife, whatever.
His wife, come on.
He don't
Bring up the main thing.
He don't get a lot wrong. So yeah, for me, Kanye is in there. So on to number 6.
Right, you lot.
Maybe.
I don't know what you're gonna think of my number 6 right now, but for me, it's Drake. I can see you sad, Jay, man. For me, number 6 has to be Drake. And you know why it has to be Drake? Because who has been on top of the game for 10 years plus?
Drake.
Tell me.
Number 1s every week.
Who's broken more records than Drake in the last 10 years? He overtook the Beatles on the charts, right? Drake doesn't hardly miss. And I can't lie to you, especially the last 10 years, he's been on top of the game. And that whole decade, you can say he's the number 1 artist of that decade. For me, Drake, he had to come in, and I deeped it the other day. I put him quite low down in my list, but then I thought, you know what, Drake is actually, I can't lie, he's gonna be, especially when he starts going missing and stuff, people will talk to it and say that he is one of the biggest rappers ever. And that's just because of longevity, like you say, and for the fact that he's beaten all these records, the streaming records,
the only person to overtake him at one stage a couple of years back was PSY with Gangnam Style. So that's how on top one of his albums were.
And I don't think he's left the American Billboard
he hasn't.
for 6-7 years or something like that. It was crazy amount of time. Like he's always had a song in the top 50 or something like that.
I respect him. I just don't rate it.
That's your opinion, like we say.
My opinion. We'll leave it there for Drake. Right, Bill, your number. Where are we? 6.
6, I think.
6.
My number 6 is, I think, Jack's number 7 being 50.
Okay.
I mean, as I said previously, you watch his films, you respect him for what obviously happened to him. You go into clubs, you hear his songs, you hear PIP in the club. I think like when I went to secondary school, we had to make like a movie or movie maker, yeah, and we were only allowed to pick from like about 12 songs. And like you had Red Red Wine, and 21 Questions was one of them. And everybody in my class practically had 21 Questions in their Windows movie that they had to make. Like one of my favourite songs.
Fair enough. Look, 50 bangs without doubt. And
So does Drake.
Just to put it all sort of in one bracket, if you like. 50 is my number 6 as well. It's the same as mine.
That's a good shot.
You grew up on 50. Grew up in it. I appreciate the other songs. Window Shopper. Candy Shop. Window Shop. Window Shop was me. I think that's when the game come out. Bulletproof. His game on PS2 come out. Bulletproof.
Yeah.
And Window Shopper was like the theme of the game. It was on there, and it was.
Window Shopper was the film.
It was in the film, but it was also one of the best, sort of the most played songs on the game as well. You'd hear it a lot in the game.
Yeah. I remember the game. I can't remember playing it that much though, but I remember it.
Oh man, that song was just. You know what? 50 as a whole. We said others are legends. You know, others are pioneers. We'll go on to now top 5. This way it gets interesting. This way your money's made. So JB, you're number 5.
Number 5 is got to be Nas. And Nas is it's Nas, man. He bodied Jay-Z. He's a mad
fuck Jay-Z.
Fuck Jay-Z, but we like Jay-Z now. They're cool now. But yeah, Nas, man, he's just an absolute legendary rapper, man. Like you can't go into anyone's top 5, top 10, no matter how old you are, and not have Nas there. For me, Nas is just crazy, man. Come on, like the amount of albums this guy's put out, 20, 30 years been in the game. Nas, he's always going to be atop of a rapper's list because that style of rap is timeless. It's timeless.
Yeah, can't argue with Nas at number 5. Bill, number 5?
My number 5, and we spent about 20 minutes on him, is Drake. I mean, I know what you're going to say with them people below him, etc., but it's just bangers after banger after banger with this guy.
And for you, Bill, like Nas, I don't want to talk about Nas still. But for you, Bill, Drake how old was you when Drake first come out?
About 13,
So he's still on top today, and you're 22 or whatever you are.
22, yeah. So, I mean, like, you've got God's Plan, Hotline Bling, Hold On, We're Going Home, In My Feelings, Jumpman, Headlines, Back to Back, Controller, all the songs with Rihanna, Worst Behavior, like, it just goes on and on and on.
Swiftly. I'm not saying.
You've got too much fake love, just too much fake love coming from this guy.
He ain't saying nothing. Right. Number 5 for me. You know, we went close to it before. We didn't quite get to him. Mine's Dr. Dre.
Oh.
Dr. Dre for me. The guy, I ain't even going to talk about him. I don't need to. He's something else. He was something else. Forget the whole producing. Forget who he brought through and remember the names he brought through, but forget that for now. NWA, yes. I'm not going to lie or deny. Ice Cube had the best bars. His voice was the most distinguished. But you know what? I don't think NWA happens without Dr. Dre, without his vision, without what he saw, but what he thought, okay, this is where it's going to go, so I'm going to take it. People laughed at Dr. Dre and said, nah, no way, no chance, you get shut down, whatever. The one of the most iconic, not his best at all, far from it. I Need a Doctor, obviously, Skylar Grey, Eminem song, right? The best bit about Dr. Dre in that song is what Eminem sung, not even what Dr. Dre sung. Just the way Eminem said it, what he said about Dre. What he said and said how people thought you were dead, thought you were gone. You saved my life, I'm saving yours, I'm getting you up now.
I'm still waiting for the album.
It's time for you to wake up. You know, you don't do that to anyone. And when has Eminem ever done that to anyone else? I'm sure we'll all talk about Eminem sooner rather than later, but that aside, to get someone like Eminem, who he is, to say that to you, he doesn't say it to anyone. You know, he gives props to probably 2 people, and that's Dre and 50. They're the people that Eminem gives props to. But for Dr. Dre, who he was, his songs with Snoop and all that, like, the guy's legendary. He's legendary, and he was the first Don of hip hop.
Yeah, 100. For me, it's more. I prefer Dre's production credits rather than his actual lyrics and his songs.
But we move on to number 4. It's getting a bit more intense now. Davey, who we got number 4?
Number 4, I got Eminem at number 4. And number 4, I know you two are gonna rate him, but the reason I'll put him at number 4 in my list is Eminem. His first stuff, first, second, third album, before he retired the first time, were amazing. Like, they're probably some of my favorite albums that I've ever heard. But then for me, after that, I don't rate anything from Eminem. I can't lie. But I respect the lyrics that he brings. And I respect everything he's done. But I don't rate the albums. I don't like the way he delivers the albums now. And I don't rate the way that he... I don't know. Something that with the new school Eminem that I can't connect with for some reason. I don't know why. But for me, the old school Eminem is probably one of the greatest music that I've ever heard, greatest rapper I've ever heard. And like the tone of his voice then was different to how it is now and stuff like that. But yeah, Eminem, he's got to be top 5. But I can't place him higher than 4, man.
That's fine. You know what? Like you
we'll
said,
argue this later.
He's gonna come later in the list as well. And look, without a doubt, he's gonna feature on that final list. So yeah, he's Eminem. Best way to describe him. He's Eminem. Look, we'll move on.
I don't rate him, but I'm just saying.
I'm sure we'll spin back round to the sooner or later. Bill, we get to your number 4.
Number 4. We start to get to the kind of big money hitters now, don't we? Number 4, I've got Notorious B.I.G. I mean, I know Jack probably don't rate him as much as I do. The songs are mad. I mean, going back again, I mean, you've listened to Kiss Street. You're going to hear Hypnotized, you're going to hear Juicy, you're going to hear More Money, More Problems. Like
this is probably where, if Drake wasn't controversial, this is probably where it gets really controversial. So I'm going to put my neck on the line and admit he's not in my list.
He's not in mine either. I can't lie.
Right. Now let me explain why he's not in mine. Not for a second do I not rate Biggie. Not for a second. I'd be stupid not to. Anyone would be stupid not to. what I didn't like was his tone of voice, his tone of rap. I didn't really enjoy it. I just thought it was a bit.
Same as that. Same as that.
The best way to explain it for me was a bit slumped. It seemed that he was rapping like this a bit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it felt a bit slumped. It was a bit like it takes it out of you listening to it. Don't get me wrong, bar for bar, wow. Some of the things he said. Don't get me wrong. And yes, the West Coast, East Coast stuff, him, Pac, whatever, him. I think the big relationship that came out of that era was the him and P Diddy relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That was wow. And look, people he brought through as well. Let's know that. Let's not miss that. Lil Kim, one of the hardest female rappers ever. Period. Don't forget things like that. What he done. So yes, amazing rapper. Just not my preference.
Yeah, I can listen to it in parts, and I know I've got the songs that I like and stuff like that. But I can't listen. I can't just sit there and be like, I'm just going to chuck it.
100%, 100%. I totally hear that. I think the final list would be. It'd be a brave podcast to leave that big in the final list, but we'll see. We'll see. Number 4 is the first time he's been mentioned in this podcast in terms of lists. It's Jay-Z. Jay-Z's my number 4. He's Jay-Z. He's Jay-Z. Blueprint 2.
Blueprint, yeah.
Album for album, you'll be far stretched to find a better album. 100%. You'll be far stretched to find a better album. And that's me being not a big Jay-Z fan. But again, what he done, again, you could talk about Tidal and the whole business side, you could talk about it all day long. That's just a different side of Jay-Z and what he done. But Jay-Z, when he come up, it was, he was a dangerous rapper. He was, best way to describe him, he was a dangerous rapper. 100%. He was mad. And, podcast aside, even throughout the years, me and Jack especially have had a lot of back and forths about who was the best. And you can see by this, Jay-Z was not my answer, but that doesn't mean I don't respect the guy. And it's funny that number 4 on Jack's list, Eminem, number 4, mine is Jay-Z. It's funny to see that, but no, he's amazing.
I think that was one of the first ever questions you guys actually ever asked me. One of the first times we ever spoke. I think Jack came up to me and was like, right, Bill, I've got to ask you a serious question right now. We're in work, and I'm like, what's going on, Matt? What's up? And you go, right, who's better, Eminem or Jay-Z?
I think we literally went around the whole workplace.
Yeah.
And I remember Sanjay called me to the manager's office just to ask, just for me to clarify why I thought of my answer.
By the way, if any of you people from our previous workplace are listening, we did not really do that.
No, we didn't do it. We done it after.
We never wasted time during work hours. Come on.
Nah.
But yeah, no, you know what Jay-Z's
like everybody at work that Jay-Z's put out, there's at least 4 or 5 songs that anyone can say they like. Like the Black Album had some of the most, I think, that probably some of the best songs he's ever done. But the Blueprint, like you say, Blueprint was easily his best project ever.
You could say it was probably one of the best projects ever, period, by anyone. Blueprint. It was that good. It was that.
Every album that Jay-Z brought out, he perfected himself.
Yeah.
More every time. He started out with his skippy little flow back in the day when he wasn't even called Jay-Z then. He was called something else. But he come out with his skippy, his mad fucking flow, hungry as fuck. And then every album, he just perfected that flow more and more and more. And he just, man, you can't. Every album got better for me anyway.
Definitely. Okay, now we're in the top 3.
Top three.
So, Jack, we're final 3. We're in podium positions. Right. Who is your number 3?
Number 3, you've both said him. And that's Kanye West. And I don't know why you're laughing at me like that.
Not top 3.
Kanye West is top 3 of all time. Why? Because Kanye West, every album that he's brought out is probably about 5 years ahead of the game, right? And you can't even say nothing about that, because when he brought out Stronger, who else done a song like that at the time? No one. Who done a song like All Falls Down when he come out? That was full of gangster rap. And then Kanye comes out with that. Who at the time when Power come out in 2010, no one was doing music like he was doing. And then as it goes down the line, you see more influences come out. And an album like 808s and Heartbreaks, which had Heartless on, it had Love Lockdown on. That's a lot of people rap like that today. And that's 10, 12 years after that dropped. That's how like Young Thug rap now, Lil Uzi, Juice WRLD, everyone's influenced by that one album. And for me, that's Kanye, man. Like he's a visionary, mate. He's probably one of the most advanced minds in the whole rap stratosphere, man. Like no one for me can fuck with Kanye, man. Production wise and rap wise, nah, man. He's amazing for me.
Look, there's little argument that Kanye should be in this list without that. No one can argue that he deserves to be in the list. He's number 7 on mine, and he's number 9 on Bill's. But then if he was to be any higher, up to top 5, I still wouldn't argue. For me, 3 is just personal opinion, a bit high, just for me. And I mean, we know how I feel about the 2 below. You put him above Eminem and Nas, which for me, as a fan of them two, I can't take. But you're number 3.
My number 3 is Tupac. So going back. I mean, he's at number 3. Once again, it's going back to the same as Biggie. There was the beef. It was mad. You hear songs all the time on the radio. You listen to the history. You know, it's hard.
No, fair enough. We will definitely go into Tupac in a lot more detail, but yeah, look, can't argue with it. Can't argue with it. Same way, even though he's not my list, can't argue with Big, can't argue with Tupac either. So, fair enough. For my number 3, it's Nas for my number 3. The guy is just ridiculous. He's ridiculous. From what he started off, he was always the smallest person in every room as well, height-wise. I know that's not a big deal, but you've got to think, back in the time where everyone's trying to grab the mic to spit their bars on like battle rap on stage.
I'm always the biggest person in every room, mate.
That's that way, fam, not that way. Well, like when he's like trying to battle to get the mic, just get hold of the mic first of all, to spit his bars. That was his biggest challenge. Like he said in interviews, that was the hardest thing he had to do. Then it got to that point where everyone would move out of the way when he stepped in the room.
He's great lyricist as well, man.
100%.
Has to be up there. Has to.
Definitely. We'll move on to the top 2. Who gets your silver medal?
Right, for me, it's Jay-Z. And I know you was expecting that as well. But yeah, Jay-Z, man. Yeah, you've already touched most of what I wanted to say anyway with when you brought him up, Sanj. But yeah, man. Jay-Z is there. He's number 2. He's such a sick rapper, man. And like I say, he perfected every single album he brought out. He perfected his sound, perfected his flows, and he's got the eye for it, man. He's got the eye for a hit record, no matter when he brings it out. Yeah, man, he's just absolute legend in the game, mate. Number 2 for me, man.
No argument from me as well. 100%. Yeah, again, these are ones that we're not going to argue with because they are on all of our lists, depending on order. So, yeah, we'll see where he ends up in the final list. Bill?
Jay-Z, number 2 as well. I mean, I've been to about 4 Jay-Z concerts, and every single time the guy shuts it down. You've got, I mean, was it 4.44? The latest album to come out? And if you listen to some of the bars in there and the way he talks about how he was brought up, and it's just crazy.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, Jay-Z is number 2, taking silver.
And he's getting grown man bars now as well. Which
fair enough. Yeah, look, again, similar as before, Jay-Z, no argument with. Businessman, rapper, eye for talent, like you said, you know, label-wise, yeah, he's more or less second to none. On if you put them all into one, you know, it's hard to sort of find a person who's done all of that. You know, you could talk that Dre done a lot of it as well. Obviously, he was a bit more production side, so you could probably compare a bit more to Kanye, or where he done production side and rapping. But in terms of everything that he done, he's and I hate to say it because I love 50. He's just a bigger and better 50, ain't he? Tycoon, businessman, music. He's just a bigger and better 50, which
he's got the girl.
Well, yeah, that too. But I'm sure that 50 had a few as well. My number two. Oof. Look, I've got it written down, and even right now, I'm still trying to decide which one to say. It's that close, but my number two is Tupac. It is Tupac. Oh man, that music videos, he changed the game. What was the music video he done where he like had sex with loads of girls to the point where he like passed out and shit?
I get around.
Yeah, was that one? Wasn't it? What the hell? What the hell? Things like that, and then just music, man. For me, okay, we're gonna talk about it, I'm sure. I mean, to come out with the "Hit 'Em Up" song. I mean, that to say that was brave at the time is something, but given the circumstances, given the beef, given what had just happened recently, where he just got shot, you know, whether people say Biggie done it or not was involved, all right, put aside for a second. The fact you're calling someone out who is running that side of the coast at the moment to say you done this, and your first lyric is "That's why I fucked your bitch." I mean, that's pretty out there. You know, that's levels with Nas saying "fuck Jay-Z." I mean, you don't get a bit more clear than that. So, you know what, Tupac, just for everything he was amazing. He was amazing.
Mate.
So, yeah,
Amazing.
he's my number two. But I got a feeling he might be number one on someone's list.
Yeah, man. Number one. He's number one for me, man. And it's Tupac. Like, you addressed it as well. Like, it's Tupac. Like, this guy is
Sometimes that's all you can say. It's Tupac.
It's Tupac. Like, who doesn't know Tupac, for one? Even babies nowadays, they know who Tupac is. Yeah. Bill, I'm sure he was dead before you was even born.
Yeah, was he? When did he die? Was it
96?
Yeah, 96. I was born 97.
It's fucking Tupac. And you think, like, any lyric that he said back in the day, and this is like 95, so what, we're talking 25 years ago, they're still relevant today. The lyrics that he talks to you and the way that he says it, they're still relevant to anyone today, especially the police stuff, like the police brutality stuff, like women. Do you know what I mean? Like, keep your head up. Like, you can still talk to women like that now. Like, come on. Brenda's got a baby when she threw the baby in the garbage and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, this stuff is still happening today, and Tupac was trying to get us away from all that kind of stuff. And like, tragically, obviously, he died, and he didn't get to finish what he wanted to bring. But I think he could have changed the world, man. Like, I know he said he didn't want to change the world. He wanted to spark the brain that did. But
yeah,
Tupac, I think he could have changed it.
Definitely.
I think for me, that's why Biggie didn't make the list, because I think you're either split between one or the other.
Yeah, 100%.
That's my opinion.
100%.
But Tupac just hit me, man. Like, he just hit me hard. Every time I listen to his lyrics, you can feel it in his voice. The pain is there. The pain is in his voice. And like, you know what we said about Biggie as well. Like, you just listen to his voice, and there's something not for me. There, but Tupac brings that pain. You just hear it.
100%. Bill?
Number one for me. I mean, he's got to be number one, and it's Eminem. As I said earlier, the first ever album I bought was Eminem Relapse, and crack a bottle on there. I remember just blaring it out the whole time when I was in the US with my family, and it was crazy. I remember my favourite song was Beautiful. I still play that song today, and I learned that song word for word at the time. And I mean, how can he not be number one? I mean, as the game says, you just don't fuck with a white dude. You just don't fuck with him. You've got cleaning up my closet when he was just going at his mum. You've got lawsuits galore from his mum, him having to pay loads of money out. You've got songs that hit the radio still today. You've got Love the Way You Lie with Rihanna. He's just crazy. Crazy good.
Yeah, no, look. Again, Jack's already mentioned him. And spoiler alert, my number one is also Eminem.
Come on.
For me with Eminem, yeah, what the game said, 100%. there's been a lot of beef in hip hop. No surprise, spoiler alert. Who was the last person who went at him? Nick Cannon?
No, who was it? It was
Encino? Where are they?
No, who was the last guy to go at him? Oh, what's his fucking name? He made kill shot about him because he went at his daughter. MGK, that was it. And
I think he even said sorry at the end. Well, he might as well have. But look, that aside, again, let's be honest, he's come into the industry when it was run by black people.
Yeah,
So white guy come in, it was like everyone looked at like, what's this?
Exactly.
He just went on to probably be one of the best battle rappers ever.
Yeah.
He went on to then and I'll be straight. He's my number one. I didn't like his early stuff. I didn't like his comedy stuff. I didn't like it. I didn't like Purple Hills and all that with D12. I didn't like it. When he then got serious, he pulled that Mockingbird, like Toy Soldiers. Probably the most recognizable, iconic song up there in hip hop. Lose Yourself. I mean, that changed it for me. And yeah, people don't go at him. People rate him. People respect him for what he was, what he's done. And look, like Kanye, he comes with his own controversy, without a doubt. The lawsuits with his mum, domestic abuse side, which we're never going to know the truth, so I won't get into it, and whatever else. But there's, you go on YouTube, right, and look at just when he pops up in other people's concerts. That's the biggest cheer of the night. So, and I'm not going at him because he's Drake, but just hear me out first. When he come in and done his bit in Forever, watch the clip and listen to the noise that crowd made. Listen to the noise when he came out in Rihanna's, and you would think that'd be a different one because Rihanna's be full of younger people, who probably wouldn't appreciate Eminem. The noise was deafening, when he come out there. So it's little things like that which made me think, you know what, he might not be liked, but he's respected. That's a key thing with Eminem because he changed his life around.
Of course he is.
Like the BET Awards that he done as well when he come out and done that sort of freestyle on the president, on Trump. I mean, people mention Trump in their songs. Yeah, fine, because you will. People always do. Not a lot of people go on a worldwide stage, no music, and just cuss the president bar for bar. And you would think Trump being Trump will come back and say something. Even the president don't say shit to Eminem. You don't say nothing to Eminem. You don't do it. Could he come back 3 times as hard and bury you? So for me, that's why number one.
It's the storytelling behind it as well. It just makes it like you get to know the person. I mean, okay, fair enough. He's newer stuff. He don't have them stories to tell no more. But going through his drug addictions being with Haley and Kim, and it's mad.
Yeah, the storytelling.
For me,
old stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Telling was crazy on that, man.
Yeah,
he just made up. I don't even know what he made up. How he made these stories up. I know he was. I don't even think
it's not even the stories. It's his life, and he's just telling his life through music.
His old stuff, a lot of it is like made up stories.
Yeah,
because he was. I don't think he remembers recording them albums. Do you know what I mean? That's when he was on the drugs and stuff. But the stories that he told you were so fucking realistic. They were like horror films, but they were so realistic that you'd get so entwined in that, and you'd think, "Wow, this is mad!" Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I like his old stuff more than.
Yeah, I think if you look at sort of post 2010s, like what he'd done, his music wasn't amazing, but what he'd done is he gave others a platform. Like remember when he put Ed Sheeran on that song Rivers a few years ago, and that was Ed Sheeran's sort of massive break into US. Like he'd done a few bits anyway in US. Don't get me wrong, he is Ed Sheeran, but for him to go on Eminem song, you saw the collab. You were, hold on a minute, what's this? Eminem and Ed Sheeran, but it was a good song. It wasn't amazing, but it was a good song, and it gave Ed a way to sort of break in, into that sort of industry as well. So, that sort of crowd as well. So for me, what he done after that, when he made it, let's be honest, he didn't make it. So once he made it, he then gave others a platform as well, which I respect. And then I think the sort of back-to-backs he done with Royce da 5'9".
Yeah.
I mean, that is two. Royce da 5'9", by the way.
Wow.
First of all, wow. He was amazing. I think lyrically he'd be up there as well. But them two back-to-back, that was something iconic.
Mm.
And it never gets as much praise I think it should them to when they've done
No.
their own little bits together, because that was amazing.
And they're very underrated together, but they're mad together.
Yeah,
like, they're probably one of the best like double acts.
Yeah, 100%. So,
You can get.
well, look, guys, that's our list. Controversy galore. That's without doubt. A lot of Kanye back and forth, a lot of Drake, a lot more forth than back. I've done a little list each of, let's just say 2 or 3 rappers who, for those who were very close, but not quite. So, for you both, Jack, have you got your first sort of few rappers?
For me, I'll put in obviously Biggie. He's got to be there. Snoop Dogg's there for me. And I'll put a Game as well, just as a mention for me, just because of how he influenced me growing up and stuff. But yeah, Biggie, like, obviously you can't deny how sick he was. And Snoop Dogg, you know, he's just a legend, isn't he? So he's got to be a mention there somewhere, but just didn't make the top 10.
Yeah, no, absolutely, totally agree. Bill, did you have any, or should we sort of skip past you?
Um,
No, but get it off the top of the head.
off the top of my head, J. Cole, Snoop Dogg.
Well, thanks for that, Bill.
That's
So,
right.
myself, honourable mentions wise, Biggie, without doubt, Snoop Dogg, definitely as well. One that we haven't heard, and this is preference, I'm not going to say he's in the top 10 list, DMX. Just because he's a rapper, and you still hear his songs now, it just gets you hyped as well, especially for a night out. X gonna give it to you, and that's it, you're ready to kill someone. But no, I love him. So yeah, that is honourable mentions. Right, for the list. Right, we're going to do it top down. So obviously 1 to 10, just who the best is. We'll keep it as snappy as possible because we could be here arguing for ages, and we'll work purely on a 2-to-1 battle, right?
We already know who's number 1, and we already know who's number 2 then.
Well, no, not necessarily. We'll see how it goes.
Right.
So look, in the list that we done, me and Bill obviously put down Eminem number 1, and JB, you put down Tupac. Now, first of all, would you argue Eminem is number 1? I know you put him at 4 on yours, so that is 3 places jump.
I get it. I get why I get why people would put him as number 1 as the top rapper. So
Yeah.
I can't really.
Vice versa with Tupac as well, without a doubt. Vice versa, like most people, I think if you look at most lists, it's one of 4. It's Tupac, Biggie, M, or J.
Yeah,
it's one of the 4. You know. We said our reasons why already. Storytelling is a big one for me for Eminem. What he done, but for me, what other rappers perceive him as. When other rappers talk about him, that's the reasons that I would put M as number 1.
Yeah, I get that.
So we've come to the conclusion, yeah?
Tupac, but...
Nah.
So for me, I'd put Tupac at number 2. Obviously, he was my number 2.
Billy, what would you say for number 1?
Number 1's Eminem, 100%.
Yeah, I think so. So we'd stick Eminem top spot.
2. What do you think for number 2?
No, I've already put Tupac as my number 1, so he'd have to be there number 2.
No, I've got Packers through, so
he's my number 2 as well. So can we agree that he'd probably go number 2?
Yeah, let's agree on that one.
All right, so my list is looking pretty good at the moment because here's what I've said so far. Right, number 3, this is probably where it could go wrong.
Mate, this ain't a fucking competition. You ain't gonna get £100 Amazon voucher at the end of it.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, I'll put my PayPal account details in there as well, guys. Send me anything back. Right, so number 3. Okay. So Jack's gone Kanye West. I've got Nas, and Bill has gone Tupac with Jay-Z as his number 2.
It's got to be Jay.
It has to be Jay. It has to be.
I can't argue with it. Yeah, definitely.
So we've got M, Tupac, and Jay so far.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Right. Okay. So number 4, I put Jay-Z. Fine, already been done. Jack's done. Eminem already been done, and Bill done. Biggie. Okay. So I guess this is where the conversation could now start. So just for the record, Nas was my number 3. Jackie's your number 5.
Yeah.
And
I mean, neither of you have got him on the list at all. You just gave him an honourable mention.
Who?
Biggie.
Big. Yeah. For me, I'd have to go with, if we want to combine the list, you have to go by how we all think, not just one of us.
Yeah.
So for me, I would put Nas next, because I'm not trying to think.
Sorry, what number is this? Just so, because I think I'm
This
losing
is
the
four.
I'm not trying to think as myself, but I'm trying to think of everybody. But
I mean, I don't not really listen to Nas, so I can't. That.
Yeah, it's going to be controversial for me. If you know what, I'd having listened to what you guys have said, I'd put Nas as 5 instead of 4, and I'd actually put Kanye West at number 4.
he was my number 3 anyway.
Number 3 was my number 6 or
My
7.
number 9.
Now I would push.
Jack has put up a good argument about him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was all about. I'd actually push Kanye above. So according to my list, I'd push him above 50, Dre, and Nas.
Yeah.
For me to put someone above,
put
someone above Nas is pretty big. So, but I would still, I'd put him above
Dre as well.
I'll put Kanye above Dre.
Dre was only in my list. Though, you got to remember, he wasn't in your two's list.
Mm.
He was more for the legacy that he left behind, but not left behind. He's not gone. But he's left in music.
I'm still waiting for that album to drop.
It's not.
Soon come.
It's
coming soon.
So I would actually put Kanye probably number 4.
Okay, cool. I ain't even gonna argue with this one. Because I know who I want to put number 5.
Say that again, Jack.
Personally, I would have Kanye.
Yeah, I'd put Kanye. Yeah, me too. Kanye number 4.
All right, cool.
So number 5, this is where I put Nas in.
Drake goes there, mate.
Yeah.
Just to go through with you guys, hold on. Dre was my 5. I'm happy to take him out if you guys, obviously you guys didn't mention him. For Jack, number 5 was Nas as well. Bill, number 5 was Drake. Now, Drake is going to appear in this list. I've sort of resigned myself to that. I'm not having him top 5. I'm not having him above Nas.
I don't think he's top 5.
Yeah. I can't have him above Nas either.
No. I don't think Drake's top 5, but for the reasons that I said, I do believe he's firmly in the top 10.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm resigned to saying that he will be in the list. He will be in the list, Drake. But he's not above Nas.
No, I don't.
All right, cool. Just put Nas in. I mean, as I said, I've never listened to his stuff, so I can't really argue.
No, our top 5 is Eminem, Tupac, Jay-Z, Kanye, and Nas. That's a pretty solid top 5. All right, so now we go number 6. So in each of our lists, Jack, at number 6, you had Drake. Bill, you had 50, and I had 50.
It's
is
great.
it battle between 50 and Drake?
I think Drake goes ahead.
Drake goes ahead 100%.
He goes ahead of 50 Cent, man. From
2010 to 2020, just non-stop on top.
So from 2000 to 2010, like 50 done pretty good.
Yeah, he done pretty good, but
he didn't do it as long. I think 50 fell off around 07-ish. And he broke out on the scene about 2002. So that's about 5-6 years.
Yeah, fair.
And I think after 07, he kind of went into the acting side. So I don't want to bring in the acting, and I don't want to bring in the business ventures he done. I just want to talk about how he was on top of the game of hip hop. And just because Drake's been there longer as a rapper and as a artist, that's why he goes there.
You know, we said we go 2 against 1, so
that hurts him. I know that hurts him.
It hurts a lot for him. To see him above names
that Drake's been on top longer.
But to see him as a better rapper than 50, Lil Wayne, Ice Cube, T.I., The Game, oh, that hurts. To put Drake in a list of the greatest rappers and not have Biggie in it hurts.
Yeah, but you think all of these rappers that we're bringing up, like Eminem, Tupac, Jay-Z, Nas. These are all from the era of 90s and 2000s. Why have we not got any rappers from new school days contending for it? And I think Drake should be.
Well, do you think it's because anyone can make a song now?
Yeah, because there's still, if you dig deep into hip hop now, you will find good rappers.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, you definitely will. But I think it's easier.
It's a different time in music as well. It's like people who grew up as 90s rap, and then the 2000s rap come out, they didn't like it. It's only now that we look back on it and think, oh yeah, that was a good time in music. It's just every era that you get, they look back at the last one. I think that's so much better than what's actually out now. Like this decade that we're in now, we'll look back at the last decade and think we've had some fucking mad songs come out.
This decade we're in, there's more mumble rap, in all honesty.
Yeah, it is.
And
from Kanye.
Yeah, mumble rap 5 years ago through Kanye. That's 5 years ago. So what I'm going to ask is, out of the names, and whatever you say is fine, out of the names, and I'm going to go through a list of people that we have: The Game, Kendrick, Lil Wayne, 50, Ice Cube, Andre 3000, T.I. Would you rather listen to Drake than all of those rappers?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Would you rather listen to
Drake in any mood?
But would you rather listen to the best hits of Drake CD rather than the best hits of 50 CD?
I think so. You have to be in a certain mood for 50 Cent, because you have to be like, say if you want to get ready for a night out, or you just want to go, like, say if someone's banging gym, you're going to listen to fucking 50 Cent, aren't you? And you can listen to...
songs like 21 Questions and Best Friend.
Yeah, he's still got them, but majority of his discography is all a lot of hyped up mad shit.
But then could you flip it and say you only really, most of the time you listen to Drake is when you just broke up with your girl?
No,
it's not songs when you listen to...
That was exaggerated, but what I mean is when you're a bit more mellow mood.
Yeah, but I think there's every
Drake makes every sort of genre. There's songs which you can sit there and you can grind to with your girl. There's songs you can shout, like you're at a Drake concert and you can fucking shout back the lyrics to Drake.
You can cry and laugh.
Yeah, trust me. This is,
you know what I mean? All in two songs.
I've never wanted to beat someone up and get hyped after a Drake song.
Yeah, that's why you got 50 Cent.
That's why I need 50 Cent in my life.
But I think an album like More Life that Drake done was, he brought the playlist era in.
Take Care as well.
And I think the playlist era is how we listen to music these days, by listening to all kind of different songs. Like we've all got different playlists, haven't we? Mm-hmm. And you think that goes from one eclectic to another one. And then that's what Drake's, for me, he's brought that in as well. It's like you listen to More Life and it's got total different sounds and all different moods in that.
No, fair. Well, that's hard.
But I just think he's more diverse, man. He's more diverse than 50 Cent.
Yeah, no, for there, I can't really argue with that. See, the albums Get Rich or Die Trying and The Massacre were two of my favourites.
Yeah.
I've done those, but you know what? I'll give you Drake just purely because that Take Care album.
Yeah, and that was
probably my one. You know, when he had certain songs in there that really hit. Okay, Drake. What number is he? 6. Oof. Oof. That. By the way, guys, these are opinions of individual people. We are not represented as one.
I'll put my Instagram if you want to hit me up. We'll talk about this.
Number 7. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So number 7, I had Kanye, who's already been said. Jack had 50, who we just spoke about, and Lil Wayne for Bill.
It's got to be 50, isn't it?
We're 50?
It's got to be 50.
Yeah.
Fine. Pretty simple, that one. Pretty simple. Number 8.
Next one's got to be Wayne. It's got to be.
Bill had Kendrick. Jack had Wayne. I had Wayne. Pretty simple there.
It's got to be Wayne.
Number 9. Right. Bill had Kanye West, and before that he had Kendrick, who still
I'm going with Kendrick on number 9 for this list.
Number 9 for Jack was Ice Cube, and number 9 for me was The Game. Right, let's do it as 2 spots, right? Instead of just 1 at 9 and 10. So, but for 2 positions at the end, we have the people who haven't been said or haven't been put in the list. The Game and T.I., Ice Cube, Andre 3000, Kendrick, and The Game again. So can we, I'm gonna say, do we agree the Game gets 1 spot? Do we agree? I'm not gonna say which one, but does he get 1 spot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's technically a sort of number 11 on Jack's. He's a 9 on mine. He's a 10 on yours, Bill. Does he get 1 spot?
I'm not letting Kendrick drop out this list, though.
You'd have Game.
Yeah.
Who would you have at number 9?
I'd have Ice Cube still at 9.
No.
See, my 2 for that 2 positions were Game and Ice Cube. I just, to be honest, just because I'm a fanboy, I'd have been the other way around. But they weren't there. They were both the 2. Bill, I think you're gonna have to drop Kendrick.
How can you drop Kendrick though? The lyrics that comes from him, the just sheer songs, it's fucking mad. How you can drop him out the list. And a minute ago you're talking about how we need to include people in the new era in here. Well, you're dropping Kendrick out.
But then you also spoke longevity. The way you sold Drake was longevity and how what he does and how he makes you feel. Kendrick's one of those where I don't think you can be slumped to listen to Kendrick. You have to. He's what I call a draining artist. I don't mean in a bad way. What I mean by that is you have to really listen to Kendrick's lyrics to get it.
Yeah, of course you have to listen to Kendrick's lyrics.
So if you're saying to me you can't listen to 50 Cent in any mood, you have to be in a certain mood. You have to be in a certain mood with Kendrick then, right?
Yeah, that's like I said with J. Cole earlier on. You've got to be in a certain mood to listen to J. Cole. But whereas you've got songs like Humble, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. You've got songs like Loyalty, Poetic Justice, right?
Okay. And Jack, come in on this. Would you genuinely class them as an all-time banger, any of those songs? Because I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't listen to them and think, oh, that's like a classic.
Yeah, would you say I've just heard one of the greatest ever songs? Whereas Game, with This Is How We Do and Hate or Love It, you could probably say.
Even albums, you can look back on that.
Even Dreams, One Love, all of that, the Red album and all that, you could probably say, like Red Nation with Lil Wayne, you could probably say I've just heard a hip-hop banger. You could probably say it. Ice Cube, no doubt. Let's not even get into that. There's a lot of songs you can say I've heard a hip-hop banger. But with Kendrick, I don't think you can.
Yeah, personal opinion. I do agree.
I mean, it's 2 against 1 now. He's got to be dropped out, but he's lyrically.
So we don't rate Kendrick, but
not at all. Like I've said already, I don't like Kendrick, his music, but I rate it 100%. I rate it, but what we will bring you back on, Bill. Obviously, me and Jack got different ideas about which way they go. Ice Cube and Game. I know you're gonna be a bit biased towards the Game as well. I appreciate Ice Cube as well. I really do. I've said it before. His bars hit different.
I haven't really heard much of Ice Cube. We heard him at the festival a couple of years ago. I've heard some of his NWA songs with obviously Dre, Eazy-E. I mean, how Eazy-E?
I think for me personally, I'd put Game on just because I think he's got more individual bangers.
Yeah.
Like his own, purely his own. Don't get me wrong, as a group, NWA goes without saying.
Yeah, Ice Cube did have his bangers though.
No, he did. Without doubt, he did. But I just think Game's got more on his own.
See, the thing is, being my age, I know Ice Cube more for being in films than actually his songs as well.
You would. I think you would as well because you're younger. But I mean, we're younger compared to when Ice Cube was out though. Yeah. So we just know from hearing it. And I think we heard a lot of Ice Cube from Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas.
100%.
And that's how I first come in.
I wanted that to play that, unfortunately. I was trying to find Nemo at the time.
You listen to Lollipop at school, though? No, it's fine. All right, so final answer. Which way do they go? 9 and 10, Game and Ice Cube.
All right, cool.
Which way did they go? Which way did they go?
I'd say Ice Cube at 9.
Bill?
Yeah, go on, whatever. Go Ice Cube.
Go on Ice Cube. All right, so I went Game at 9.
Oh, you're going the Game at 9. Sorry. Oh, no, we'll go for the Game at... No. Fuck Ice Cube. No.
Is that your final answer?
No, we're going for the game. Man.
No, if you want the game, you have
2-1. We go game. So, Jack, can we just get a rundown of our completed, controversial, debatable joint list, I guess?
So, joint list from 10, we've got Ice Cube. Number 9, we've got The Game. Coming in at 8, Lil Wayne. Number 7, 50 Cent. Number 6, Drake. 5, we've got Nas. Number 4, we've got Kanye West. 3, we got Jay-Z. 2, we got Tupac. I see it's going in the numbers there. Number 1, we've got Eminem. I
You know
think that's
what?
a solid list.
It's a solid list. I think people will obviously argue names. I think as a list of 10, there's not too many people who break into that. Biggie would be the obviously, for those who rated what he'd done. Who liked what he'd done. We will rate what he'd done. Who liked what he'd done. But that is our list. Look, guys, thank you both for your time. We will wrap up the Urban Rap Show here. But just a quick note for those who have watched along, or watch back whatever podcast provider you may choose. Thanks once again. This will be a weekly thing. We'll be on here talking about all different lists. If you've got any views, comments, disagree with us, like I'm sure a lot of you will, pop it in the comments below. And look, next week we'll be able to give you a brand new one. This was recorded on the 16th of April. It'll be going out next Wednesday, which is the 23rd. And yeah, on that Thursday, we'll also record another one for the week after. So look, any ideas that you'd like us to do for, I guess, 2 weeks from now?
I say we go for the UK next.
Go for the UK. That could cause a lot of stir, should we say? A lot of stir. So look, guys, a big thank you to Bill. First of all, he'll be doing the editing as well. So thank you for that, Bill.
Big up on Set Media.
Plugging himself now. JB, big shout out to yourself as well.
Come on, love.
Guys, I've been SJ. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, tune in again next week.